Knowing what skills you need is one thing. Finding the right way to learn them is another. You need recommendations that fit your schedule and budget, and here's a prompt that can get you there. Based on the skills I need to develop for a tech project manager role, can you recommend some reputable certifications, online courses, and workshops I could pursue within the next 6 months? I'm working full time, so please focus on flexible programs that can be taken on evenings or weekends and suggest approximate costs or time commitments if you can. Those last two details, flexible programs and approximate costs, are important. In some cases, time and money are what guide your decision. All right, so we have a response. Absolutely. That's a smart move. With a 6-month window and a full-time job, the key is picking flexible, high-leverage certifications and courses that give you practical skills, credibility, and portfolio material. Here are some of the best options with rough costs, time estimates, and tips, plus a suggested sequence you can follow. Now, you'll probably notice that you can see stuff over here on the far right of the screen. Here's the problem. It gave me a table that runs off the edge of the screen because it has so many columns. So that's not very helpful to us. Let's ask it to give this information in a way that is a little bit more palatable, something that you can actually see on the screen. So what I'm doing is I'm asking the GenAI, would you please give me the information about top certifications and courses to consider in a different format than a large table? Inline in the conversation would be fine. So you can see, I'll go through this with you before I ask it to do that. So it gives you the top certifications and courses to consider. Then it actually gives you a suggested 6-month learning roadmap. Month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, exactly what you could be doing. Do this in month 1, do this in month 2, and so on. And then it says you can overlap these phases somewhat, especially given your time constraints. Tips for juggling with full-time work. So it even gives you tips to try to help you succeed in mixing the fact that you have a full-time job with all of these other things that you want to do. And then it offers to build you a personalized 6-month training plan with calendar slots, specific courses, and reminders tailored to your current schedule. But let's get back to the fact now that we can't really see the entire table that it gave us to begin with and see what it comes back with. Of course, let's restate those recommendations in a more conversational, digestible format, perfect for planning around a full-time job. So what it's done is it's taken all of this information that it had initially put into this table, and if you're fine with that, then no problem. But in our case, I want to be able to show you that you don't have to accept the information that it gives you in the format that it gives it to you. You can ask it to reformat it, which is what we did. And now you can see we have all of these different certifications listed one at a time. It gives you the format, the time commitment, the cost, and why it's a valuable thing to go after. So you've got this one, number 2, 3, 4. You see all of these? Now, here's an interesting thing. It also tells you how to sequence them. So if you want a logical order on which ones of these you should get before the others, it says start with this one because it builds your foundation, and then layer on this by the time you've hit months 3 or 4. Add this for a better perspective. And then it says begin prepping for CAPM or PMP toward the end of the 6 months once you've built a project log and vocabulary. If there's something in the recommendations you're not familiar with, you can ask for more information. For example, the GenAI mentioned CAPM. If I didn't know what that was or why it mattered, I could follow up like this. And this is just a template that you can use. What is insert certification and what's the value of obtaining it? Great question. The CAPM is one of the best stepping stone certifications for professionals like you who want to move from administrative or coordination roles into full-scale project management, especially within tech. Let's break it down clearly and practically. So here we go. What is CAPM? It tells you what it stands for. It tells you who it is that's offering it. And it also gives additional information that it's the same organization behind the other certification that we saw here. See here, PMP. So it's automatically giving you that information as well. And then it goes on to explain what CAPM is, what it covers. So this is what is included within the certification, and this is what is required to take the exam. And as you asked, it also divulges the value of the CAPM, career credibility. It's a gateway to the PMP, industry neutral, globally recognized. So it gives you 5 different reasons why it's valuable. And then it talks about the cost and commitment. Here's how much it costs for members. Here's how much it costs for non-members. And if you want to become a member, in order to get the lower exam cost, it even tells you how much the membership is. Talks about study time, the format of the test, and how long does that certification last for. And then it gives you the summary. You see how easy it is to get clarification? Remember that you're having a conversation here, not filling out a form. In our next lecture, we'll take these training ideas and build out a development plan with timelines and milestones.